Hello everyone and welcome to another in and out video coming to you from this very cold bedroom. But I thought it didn't really make sense to turn up the heating if I'm just here for like 20 minutes to film a video, because we have the window open like a little bit every night, and so it's snowing outside. It's beautiful. Let's get started with the things that have come into my life and have gone out of my life in November. Honestly, somehow the beginning of this month feels like it's been a long time ago, because the first thing that I decluttered is this pair of pants. It's originally from Organic Basics and I got it actually only at the beginning of this year, but unfortunately it's just too tight. And I wanted to keep it because I kind of like how it looks, and I mean I got it and it's a good quality piece, but if it's uncomfortable, it just doesn't make sense to keep it. And I talk more about like my current state of my wardrobe and my philosophy with my wardrobe and everything in a video that I'm gonna link you up here. And in the course of this video, I decluttered this pair of pants. I'm gonna bring it to a clothing swap, I think, because there people also appreciate good clothes, and I appreciate if there are other people bringing good clothes. So I think it's a good system to trade clothing. Then the next thing that I decluttered is this book. I got it for my birthday. I read it and I have mixed feelings about it. So it's a book kind of about climate change, or it's actually the story of a family, but they're living in the world of, in a few years, when climate change has like become worse. And that part of it, like a part of that is kind of realistic. And I thought, like, I really liked reading it because it's not so much an eventuality anymore. It's not that people just deny that climate change exists, but I thought they were very inconsistent with the whole thing. Like, I kind of hated certain people in this book, and sometimes that's okay, right? But there were so many people that they had their values and then they didn't really follow them. I just name one example. They did think a lot about not eating meat because it's not so sustainable, but they never talked about dairy or eggs. And I thought that was really weird, because that's not like a consistent thought then. I don't know. I would still say you could read it. It's kind of entertaining. It kind of made me mad at certain parts, but it's not my favorite book, and I'll bring it to a open bookshelf so that someone else can read it, or maybe my boyfriend wants to read it as well. I'll ask him. But this is out of my life. I do not want to read it again. And then we have the stuff that's come into my life. And number one is this pair of socks. I found it at this little shed house thing where you can bring stuff and take stuff. I've talked about it a lot now because I usually bring a lot of stuff there that we don't need anymore, but we also find kind of a lot of stuff there that we can use. And so these socks, they're just warm socks, and I usually knit my own warm socks, but I thought like knitting also takes a lot of time, and they were there and they fit me, and why not? So I have a new pair of warm socks for the winter, and honestly also for the summer, because I wear these all year round. And then we went to a secondhand charity English book sale. By we, I mean my boyfriend and I and my boyfriend's sisters, and I bought a bunch of books. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books, yes. And I paid, I think, 25 euros or so for them. So I think that's a good deal, and I read them and most likely give them away after reading them, because I usually do not really want to keep the books I've read, because I don't really think I'll read them a second time. I started with this one already. I'm actually almost done. It's The Great Passage by Shion Miura. I'm sorry if that is wrong. I think it's really good. It's about, friendship and life and the small pleasures and understanding life and about words, because it's about dictionaries. And I thought it's extremely interesting, even though it's about Japanese dictionaries. So there's a lot of kind of translating going on if they're talking about specific words. But I loved it so far. So I am gonna link the books I talk more about in the description. So this one I'm gonna link in the description, and I guess I'm gonna declutter it next month, because I'm not just done yet, but almost. But then for the rest of the books, since it's like 9 more books, I'm just gonna show them to you, but not really talk about them because I do not know so much about them. And I think it's better to talk about them whenever I'm done reading them. So this is No Presents Please by an Indian author, I think. And I think this is like short stories. This is The Inheritance of Loss. And I think I saw this book several times at the book sale and in like several editions. But this one spoke to me after seeing it 5 times, so I bought it. This is The Taste of Blue Light. I think this is very much about mental health. And I think I heard about this book. And I heard like good reviews about it already. I'm gonna read it and give you my review. This is My Side of the Diamond, Sally Gardner. I don't know, I liked how this book looked more so than maybe the description or the text here. But it's also not bad, so I bought it and I want to read it. This is Orwell's Roses, also a very pretty book. And I also like the political components. And I'm interested to see how it is. This is also pretty. I kind of did also pick pretty books, but not only pretty books, or like not only because they were pretty, but also because what I think they're gonna be, the words in them. The Interestings, it's about like creative people and how they go through life and if they succeed or not and things like that. So that sounds very interesting to me. Then this is Disturbing the Peace. I think this is going to be a very sad or complicated or like heart-wrecking book. But it's supposed to be good. I don't know. Let's hope. History is All You Left Me. I think it's a love story, but with a lot of grief and sadness also. But it spoke to me, so I'm going to read it. And this is How to Be Good by Nick Hornby. And Nick Hornby is actually an author that in Germany and Switzerland, many people have to read his books in school, in like English classes. I don't really know why. I also do not remember if I have ever had to read a book, but I've read some books of his when I was an adult, I think, and I always kind of liked them. So I just thought, I bought that because of the author and also because of what it says on the back here, but we'll see. So that's the stuff. But let's talk about it a little bit. The last 2 months, a lot of things have come into my life. And last month, I also kind of talked about this concept of the consumption comfort zone, this concept, I still very much like it. And I'm going to continue talking about it, I think. Because I really realized that I feel kind of uncomfortable if too much stuff is coming into my life and that I really just want to practice slow consumerism, intentional consumption, and not buying a bunch of stuff. I mean, I got this pair of socks, this was free and that kind of makes sense, but then I bought 10 books. So how does this fit into not buying a bunch of stuff? Actually, my feeling this month towards these 10 items that have come into my life is very much different from the feeling I had these 2 past months, when I do not remember if it was like 10 things. I don't think it was, or 11 with a pair of socks, but it still felt worse, or it still felt more overwhelming. And I think that is because all of these items that I brought into my life during the past months were things that were from different categories, that had to find a place where I store them, that I didn't really plan on buying also maybe, and that I plan on using for a long time, so they're kind of permanent additions to my belongings. And so there's this responsibility for these items and finding them a place and using them and everything that comes with that. But with these books, on one hand, I knew about this book sale for a long time, so I kind of thought about it and already became comfortable with the thought of buying a few books there. And then the second thing that I think makes a huge difference is that these are not permanent additions to my life. Now, of course, if I love one book so much that I'm sure I want to read it again or even multiple times, I'm going to keep it. But I think just because they're going to be here for this winter maybe, and I'm going to read a few every single month, and then I'm going to declutter them again, it doesn't really feel like this responsibility of new belongings. And also I have a dedicated spot for them already. I always have the books that I own right now on my desk kind of piled up in one of the corners of my desk. And this pile can grow a bit even now. Like, it's never been that high, but I think it would fit like 25 books before it comes crashing down. And so that's kind of a place where I can store a fluctuating number of books. And I think all of these aspects kind of make it a lot more comfortable to buy these books. Also, if you've been wondering, like during the past few years, I had this guideline for myself to buy one item a month. And in the beginning of this year, I bought nothing, like for the first 8 months or so. And then I bought a bunch of things. And now these 10 items, while I already said that I'm not gonna like cling too much to that rule of one item per month, with these I'm really unsure, because it doesn't really feel like I'm buying them. It feels like a small cost for using them, kind of, because they're not gonna stay. So please let me know how you feel about that, if you would like count them towards the item that I bought this year, because I'm not counting like train tickets and things like that. And it's very much similar, so it's just an experience, and then I'm gonna gift the book to another person. And I think that's the beautiful thing about living minimalism or an intentional life for a long time. You do not have to follow certain rules anymore and stick to principles and things that you set for yourself. You can just kind of go with the flow, as long as it works according to your values and as long as it feels good. And is this very much the case for these books, because I think it's a sustainable way of sharing books and using books and liking books, and it's also not that expensive, and it just works for me. Other than that, how has that month been for me? So it was very much so autumn, rainy weather, and now it's snowing. It's the beginning of winter. I enjoyed not consuming so much. As I said, it was not much, even though it's 10 books. And I just got a very surprising phone call that I'm gonna start my new job tomorrow, which was one of the like uncertain things that I had to deal with this month, because I just did not know when I'm gonna start and how is it gonna work and everything. And a lot of that I still do not know, but I'll know more tomorrow. And so I finally know when the new chapter kind of in my life is gonna start. But with that, I think we are at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm gonna be back next month. I do not really know yet how I'm gonna do it, with like a New Year's video, talking about everything I bought this year, or just talking about everything I bought and decluttered in December. Also, you can let me know your ideas and how you would like to see these videos coming your way. And now I do want to link you a video here that I hope you'll check out. And thank you just so much to all of you who are supporting me on Patreon, to all of you who are supporting me with super thanks, or just supporting me by watching this video until now, because that also really helps me out a lot. I do hope to see you there or in my next video. And until next time, bye bye.